Breaking right now, Prince Harry is on a new media blitz, this time, most disgustingly, against his own father, King Charles. So he has used the cover of Hello magazine to do this. The headline there, fighting for his family. Inside Harry's mission to bring Archie and Lily back to the UK, an exclusive report. Well, as the Royal News Network posted about this, he should have considered his family. Before Oprah, Netflix, Spare, etc., Harry destroyed his relationship with his family for greed. He doesn't get to whine now. We're going to have analysis on this from Prince Harry's biographer, Angela Levin, in just one moment. But I think first I need to take you through Harry's PR spin in this week's edition of Hello magazine and their exclusive report, which has clearly been briefed on the back of the Duke of Sussex, as they claim, winning a huge privacy battle in a landmark case against the Sun publisher. I mean, immediately there, you've even got a factual inaccuracy in the Hello magazine headline, because Harry didn't win. He settled. He settled because he didn't want to have to face people like me in court this week giving him some home truths. He settled because actually this is a man who has proven he is just about the money, maybe because of his wife. So I don't endorse this Hello magazine report, but I am going to take you through it. So I'll take you through the key parts anyway. So they say Harry's legal battles are far from over, however, with Harry now focused on taking the fight for his family's protection to court in April, and his next case that may prove decisive in his relationship with his father, King Charles. Harry's lawyers will appeal a High Court judgment upholding a Home Office decision to downgrade his security provision in the UK when he stepped back as a senior working royal in 2020. A friend tells Hello, the goal for Prince Harry is simple. He wants to ensure the safety of himself and his family while in the UK, so his children can know his home country and so he can help support his patronages and their important work.
Surprise, surprise. Another media stunt from Harry, who apparently hates the media but just can't stay out of it. This time he's chosen the cover of Hello magazine to do what? Complain. And you'll notice a pattern here, folks. Every time there's a major royal event, whether it's King Charles stepping up, William and Kate doing actual work, or even a moment of national importance, Harry and Meghan somehow show up with their own sob story. It's predictable at this point. This is straight out of the Hollywood PR playbook. Whenever public sympathy starts running low, drop an exclusive interview, repackage yourself as the victim of some grand injustice, and hope people forget what you did to cause the drama in the first place. And trust me, Harry has caused plenty of it. Let's break this down. Fighting for his family? Really? Because last I checked, he was the one who walked away. He was the one who chose to leave the UK, abandon royal duties, and settle in Celebrity Central, California. You don't get to make a dramatic exit, burn bridges, then cry about not being able to come back whenever you feel like it.
The Hello article goes on. Harry has not brought his children to the UK since the late Queen's Platinum Jubilee in 2022, meaning the King has met his youngest granddaughter Lilibet only once in person. Harry is said to believe his father should intervene on his behalf to have his full protection reinstated. But sources close to the King have said it would be wholly inappropriate for him to challenge a government decision. So could the stalemate finally be broken in the High Court this spring? If the Duke were able to successfully appeal the ruling on his security, it could pave the way for him to build bridges with his father and bring his children back to visit. The next case, and this is again from a source who they say has known Harry for many years, translation Harry, the next case is fundamentally important to him in terms of his family. So Angela Levin, I was disgusted by this piece of propaganda from Harry. I mean, let's think about the day it was released, Angela. The day it was released was the day that King Charles was at Auschwitz, the day that Prince William and Catherine were attending a very important Holocaust memorial service in the UK, the day they do that. Harry's team decide to drop this report, which is full of propaganda, in my view, from Harry. So I think, number one, the timing was disgusting. But actually, the most disgusting thing is the pressure that he is continuing to heap on his father, the king, to overturn a government decision, which the king cannot do and should not do, but also at a time when actually the king is still undergoing really serious treatment for really serious cancer. I mean, where does this guy get off? And I'm sorry, I think also, where does Hello Magazine get off trying to claim that Harry is the one fighting for his family when actually he has spent the last 5 years trashing his family? They're my thoughts, Angela, but I'm very keen to hear yours.
Yeah, well, I'll give you the best one at the beginning and then we can go back on that. Now, the king, who is a regent, right?
Yes.
If he wants to, he can stop the two children going back to America. It's his privilege to keep them in the UK. Now, if Harry brought them, there could be quite a big opportunity for him to be for both of them to be left in this country, not go back to their mother. So I don't think that. I think this is all playtime because they must know that, and if they don't want them to be captured or even thought about, then they shouldn't be playing these sort of silly games.
And let's talk about the real reason he's making this move, because Meghan's Hollywood dreams are flopping hard. Her Spotify deal, canceled. Her Netflix projects, a joke. The Hollywood elite. They used her for clout and now they've moved on. Suddenly the UK is looking a lot better, huh? But now the problem is, they've lost public trust and they're scrambling to fix it. Oh, here we go again, Harry fighting for taxpayer-funded security. Because apparently, a multi-millionaire living in Montecito can't afford to hire his own security team like every other celebrity. Remember, folks, this is the same guy who demanded privacy, sued British tabloids, and claimed he was done with the royal lifestyle. But now that he needs the prestige and perks of royalty, suddenly security is a human right? And let's not forget, this is the same UK where law-abiding citizens are being told to put up with rising crime, where police budgets are stretched thin. But Harry thinks his personal safety is more important than anyone else's?
Wow, Angela, that is absolutely fascinating, though.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
Charles has the power to do
yes,
that.
yes. He has the
And
right. He has the right to keep royal children. This has been rumbling along for years now, but people just put it under the bed because it's not very nice and you don't want to say that. But Harry keeps on saying this about his family. And so is he asking for it? Because Meghan's never going to come here. She says that all the time. She doesn't want her children, surely, to go away from her and not to see them. Surely these children need to stay where they can have a good school, which would be in America. The fact that they haven't met their family on their paternal side is entirely their fault. Harry doesn't want them to come because it's a punishment to his father. And it's very different from actually bringing children over so that they can get used to their family. It's nothing to do with that. He just wants to upset his father. But I think if he's not careful, if they really think about it hard, I would recommend it, but it's not my business, that you can keep these children and give them a life that is actually with their family. And Harry comes and he can see them, but he won't be responsible for them. It won't happen, I'm sure of that. But I think they're playing with fire and they're pretending that that cover is just disgusting, actually, because he knows very well that he has been disgusting to his father. And he just keeps on, as you just said before, trying to persuade the Home Office not to keep Harry being paid underneath the top level of protection. And he can't do that. He can ask them, but actually he's not in charge of the decisions. And if they did talk about it, it would be very, very quietly in the palace. Nobody would know. It's not something that would come up next day on the front pages. And I'm sure that the Home Office would say, actually, no, we don't want to give him all that because he's not a royal now. He's not actually working. And we can't use the people's tax to give him this huge protection. And that's what he's got to get. But the way he says it all the time, keep on saying it, it's easy to get the impression that Charles is being mean, he's being awful. He wants to see his children, but he doesn't really. And he's not helping Harry because they can't live unless they have the top grade protection. And that's all just made up. It's just horrible. And the way he's been disgusting about his father ever since he left, he can't imagine that his father would say, oh, come round, it will be lovely and wonderful. Of course he wants to see him. Of course he misses him. Of course he loves him. But he's not happy with what he's doing and how he treats his family. He's got to learn differently. And he won't. You see, he's always, unlike Meghan, he's the big shot. And what he wants to do has to be done because he's a prince. But there's lots of other things going on under the carpet that will stop this. I'm pleased to say.
Now this is where things get really interesting, because the king actually has legal authority to stop Archie and Lilibet from being brought back to the UK under royal jurisdiction. And honestly, he should. Why? Because we know what's coming next. If Meghan and Harry successfully re-establish ties in the UK, suddenly they're back in the royal conversation, using those kids as bargaining chips. They don't want to serve, they want the prestige without responsibility. Let's be real. Meghan isn't interested in bringing those kids to embrace British culture. She's interested in marketing them. The same way she used her marriage, used the royal title, used the media. This is about keeping the Sussex brand alive. King Charles needs to draw a line. The monarchy cannot afford to let these two continue their half-in, half-out charade. And this, my friends, is why this whole situation matters.
They really are. I mean, it is interesting to me, though, Angela, that in the future, because let's be honest, we know that at some point in the future, this very dysfunctional marriage between Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, which has broken down, probably will formally break up. And it's fascinating to know that in the future, King Charles could use that power to try and allow Harry to have the children in the UK. But that's why I very much doubt that Meghan will ever allow the children to travel to the United Kingdom. Certainly not if there was any split between them, because that was one of the whole reasons that she wanted to have Harry in America. Now, of course, there's a whole other question, Angela, about these children in regards to the fact that I believe they need to actually be DNA tested in order to make sure that they have a right to be part of the line of succession. And that is something that King Charles should also be concerned about. Again, I know it's incredibly awkward, but we do know why.
Yeah, they know that. They know that. I mean, if you don't have royal blood, you can't be on the list of royals. And that's it. Very simple. But I don't think you can take a blood test unless things are very bad indeed. But the thing is that if there is a divorce, Harry is thrown out, as he very well might be now that Trump is in charge.
Oh yes, I want to come to that in just a second, actually. Yes. But before we do, make your point.
Yeah, just before we do, then he won't be able to get into America ever. Now, will Meghan bring them over so that he can see them? I don't think so. So you have to think of these poor children who won't be able to see their father, and they're with them, they're just with their mother and a grandmother. They haven't got any other family there. And I did know and did see when I was writing Harry's book that he was brilliant with children. I don't know how he is with his own children, but he was absolutely brilliant with children. And he still is a bit of a child in him. And he was good fun. But if he goes off, I can't imagine Meghan giving up her days to look after them. She might love them a lot, but she'd get the Meghan cuddle, hug, and then she'd be off trying to make amends and friends with anybody she could.
Harry's actions aren't just about his personal life. They represent something much bigger. This is about accountability, privilege, and media manipulation. When you have powerful people constantly shifting blame, avoiding responsibility, and manipulating public opinion, it's a problem. Whether it's Prince Harry, Hollywood elites, or political figures who do the exact same thing, this kind of behavior needs to be called out. So what's next? Are we going to see another sob story interview, another tell-all book, another lawsuit? Probably. But what we won't see is Harry taking real accountability. And that's the real tragedy here.